everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Heather Briggs of My So Quilty Life, and I have such a fun video planned for you today, welcoming you to the Flower Shop Block of the Month. That's right, we are about to get started. It's almost time to kick off month one, so I thought it'd be a lot of fun to do a fun welcome video and go over everything that comes with the Flower Shop Block of the Month. If you haven't heard what the Flower Shop Block of the Month is, it's a 6-month block of the month making a beautiful flower shop quilt made in my Dainty Meadow fabric collection that's right here. This just hit the stores in October, so it is available, and if you're participating, you should have already received your kit, which comes with the beautiful Dainty Meadow fabric collection, a layer cake with a couple other yardages, as well as your patterns. I thought it'd be a good time to go over everything that's included so that if you had any questions, hopefully this video would answer them for you. But before I do that, I thought I would show the beautiful quilt that I have right here and exactly the one that you're going to be making over the course of the next 6 months. Now, I know 6 months seems like a long time away, but I will tell you it's gonna go by so fast, and before you know it, you will have a beautiful finished flower shop quilt. So I'm going to show you really quick the entire quilt. I'm going to hold it up first so that you can see it. This quilt is 75 by 75. And again, it uses my Dainty Meadow fabric collection. I won't be able to hold it all up at once, but I'll try to half it and then show the rest. So here is the top of the flower shop. You have your cute flower shop sign as well as the awning and some 2 potted plants. Down below, you have a cute little flower above the door and some lanterns next to the door. You have 2 windows beside the door which house the flower blocks, and a beautiful welcome to the flower shop sign in the middle of that door, which is hand embroidered, but I do have panels if you are not a fan of hand embroidery. And then towards the bottom we have some beautiful lattice planters, which are actually super easy to make. They might look challenging, but they are not, and my videos and patterns are going to walk you through along the way how to make that. And then we've got a really cute watering can right there in the bottom of the door. I'm going to go to my top camera so we can look at this quilt in further detail, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's get a good up-close look at this beautiful quilt. Here's the backing. I used the all-over main floral from the collection. It is so beautiful. Okay, so here we have the top of the quilt with the awning. We have the flower shop sign. We have the cute little potted planters on the top, and then the top details. Moving down, we have the fun little blocks inside the storefront of the windows, some little lanterns. So these are your monthly blocks. So this is month 1, block 1 and 2. So you can kind of see how those fit in there. And at the bottom you have this adorable little lattice planter. Moving into the middle, you have the door where you have your 2 potted plants here, as well as your watering can within the bottom of the door. We have the door and the welcome to the flower shop sign. This is hand embroidered, although you could use the panel. And then we have the flower hanging above the door. And then that same thing is mirrored over here within this storefront window, but different blocks. So these are your monthly blocks here. And we've got open, now come on in. So cute with these little tulips, again in this lattice planter. So this is the quilt. It's so big, 75 by 75. It was quilted by Francine of Buffalo Flats Quilt Co. in a flower all over pantograph. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my front camera and talk about the rest of the block of the month. Okay, so now that we just saw the beautiful quilt that you are going to be making, I wanted to go over the patterns and walk you through some supplies you might need that you might find helpful throughout your journey, as well as the fabric I'm going to be using for my block of the month quilt. As some of you know, we just wrapped up the flower stand block of the month. And for the Flower Stand block of the month, I made my second quilt during all my tutorials with the Flower Girl fabric collection, which was the fabric collection I used in my first one. I thought it'd be a lot of fun to use a completely different fabric collection to give it a completely different look, and I had all of you vote on my YouTube live stream for month 6 if I should stick with the fabric, which would be Dainty Meadow, or do a completely different fabric collection or scraps, and almost everyone voted a completely different fabric collection, and I am so happy because now I can have a quilt that's completely different and special in its own way and have fun sewing along with all of you. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the patterns. You should have received in your kit, or if you bought the patterns by themselves, a baggie filled with fun patterns like this. I'm going to go ahead and open it up and just walk you through what you have so you are aware. So the first thing you have is your little cover sheet. The second thing you will have is your welcome brochure. I'm going to go through this in just a bit. It is very important that you have this because this is your access to the Flower Shop main hub. You will also have 6 block patterns for month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And at the end, you will have your finishing pattern to be able to put all the blocks together. You also have this little backing card. This just shows all the fabric requirements you need for the block of the month. So if you're not using the Dainty Meadow and you did not buy a kit from a shop, you can look at these fabric requirements and select your own favorite fabrics to use in your Flower Shop quilt. Okay, I just mentioned that this welcome brochure is very important. This is your ticket into the Flower Shop main hub. In this welcome brochure is a fun little welcome message welcoming you to the block of the month. Also, your schedule, your next steps, a QR code to access the main hub, a little bit more information about the main hub, and everything you will expect to receive in this block of the month. There are tons of freebies, tons of goodies, lots of fun along the way, tons of giveaways. You can check those out right here, as well as the important communications email, which you can sign up in the main hub. That is how we're going to communicate every time I send an email out welcoming you to the new month, or if I have a pattern correction or just something I want to share with you. That is the main way. Also, in this communications email when you sign up, you are also registering yourself to win monthly giveaways and golden flowers. So it's very important that you are signed up for that. I went ahead and covered up the QR code so not everybody can scan it. You have to be part of the block of the month and have purchased your patterns. On the back of the brochure is your basic instructions for every single pattern. Reference these if you have any questions about the pattern. Finally, I talk about sharing your progress throughout the entire block of the month. We have a special hashtag on social media. It is called Flower Shop BOM. Again, that is Flower Shop BOM, so block of the month. Flower Shop, block of the month. The last thing on your welcome brochure is the email address that offers support for this block of the month. It is customerservice@mysewquiltylife.com. This is a great source to ask questions if you need help with patterns or if you have a pattern correction that you found. Please email customerservice@mysewquiltylife. Now, you should have this. This should be the second thing in your packet of patterns. If you do not have this, or if you do not see the QR code to scan to access the main hub, please email me at customerservice@mysewquiltylife.com and we can help you access it. The Flower Shop main hub can only be accessed through the QR code. You cannot access it from a tab in my website. You have to have the link. So I recommend bookmarking that link, but also every time I send out an email, I will have the link to our main hub in that email so you don't have to worry about ever losing it. Okay, so now that we have gone through the patterns, I just wanted to show you some of the things that come with the block of the month experience that you can download on the main hub. I love giving away fun little goodies and creating little things for you to download, so I'm so excited to show you exactly what you get with your month 1 virtual flower pack. Now, if you participated in Flower Sand, you knew that you received a physical flower pack. But for the Flower Shop block of the month, I decided to go all virtual. Now, this helps me out in so many ways. Not only does it help me not have to pack thousands of envelopes and get thousands of paper cuts and have to worry about thousands of things coming into my home and having to worry about thousands of things exiting my home. If you saw the picture of all the packages, you know what I mean. But I thought going virtual would be a great thing, especially when I want to give you more things than that can fit in that little tiny paper envelope. And that's what I love about the virtual block of the month. That means you can download all the things, keep them virtual, or print them off to be able to use them in the block of the month. Now I'm going to show you what some of the things are that come in your month 1 virtual flower pack that you can access on the main hub. First, we have our schedule. Now I thought I'd go quickly over this schedule. You will receive one, and this time it is on an 8.5 by 11 instead of a tiny little 5 by 7. Now the best thing about keeping this virtual, which we all went through on the Flower Sand block of the month, was the dates changed. And then the physical schedule that I sent you in the flower pack was completely wrong and no longer relevant. So with us having a virtual flower pack, I can send out an updated schedule if it were to change. Now, I don't have any plans to change the schedule. I think most people have received their block of the month kits and are ready to go. But just in case something pops up, I can put a new schedule for you in the main hub so you can download it and print it, or just download it and mark it in your planner. So this is the first thing. We are about to get started on the block of the month. Month 1 starts on November 8th. Now, there are a couple things that I outline in this schedule. So we start with our month blocks. So for month 1, we start with blocks 1 and 2, and you can access those in the pattern. But I also do a monthly live stream on my YouTube, going over the new month, getting it kicked off, showing you some things I've made with some of the patterns, and showing you all the goodies that are in your virtual flower pack, and just having a lot of fun and being a little goofy. Now, each month they're going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know that not everybody has time to watch it at 4 p.m. EST, so they will be recorded and available on my YouTube. You can actually go back and watch the ones that we did for Flower Stand, as well as all the tutorials as well. So they're gonna be evergreen on my YouTube channel. You can access them at any time. So if you're busy and don't have time to get to it till the following week, just wait, you can do it then. Now, I do have surprise giveaways that I usually do on those lives, so you won't want to miss it, because usually you have a week deadline to comment with an answer that I asked in the video. As you're working down the schedule, you'll see all the dates. You'll also see a little circle that says bonus patterns. You will have 2 bonus patterns in this block of the month, in month 2 and in month 4, similar to how we did in Flower Stand. I love the bonus patterns because it allows me to take some of the blocks from the main Flower Shop block of the month and create something totally different with it, whether it be a crib quilt, a pillow, or something fun. You will have 2 bonus patterns in this block of the month. You also will notice that I added something new this block of the month. We are doing Zoom meetups, which I am so excited about. I know you probably have heard me talk about those Zoom meetups that I kept wanting to do in Flower Stand, but we never did. Well, now I have them scheduled and we are going to do them. And all the Zoom meetup is a place for all the participants to come into one place, show our progress, ask questions, and get to know each other. These will not be live on YouTube. I'm thinking of recording the session and putting it out on YouTube. I just haven't decided yet, but I'm planning on using Zoom. I think that will be a lot of fun to be able to get together. I have not specifically outlined the dates. They will be in month 3 and month 6. I thought those were the perfect times to show our progress in month 3 and then kind of show where we're wrapping up in month 6. So I hope you are so excited and are able to join me in those Zoom meetup. Another thing I wanted to talk about were the monthly giveaways. So I'm doing things totally different. As you can see, with the physical flower packs of Flower Stand, you had 1 million QR codes to scan, but now you have just 1. And that one accesses the main hub. I thought I'd keep it simple for you. Now, if you don't have a smartphone, I should have mentioned this previously, that is okay. You just need to email me so I can give you access to the hub. And you need to be able to give me some sort of confirmation, whether it be your order confirmation or a picture of everything, to be able to send me so that I can confirm I'm giving the link to somebody that has actually purchased and is participating in this block of the month. So in order to sign up for the monthly giveaways, you have to be signed up for the monthly communications newsletter. And what I will do is on the start of the new month is pick 2 monthly winners. So for example, the month 1 giveaway will close on the start of month 2. You will be notified via email, and I will put an announcement in that monthly newsletter for the block of the month. I will also be doing virtual golden flowers. If you remember, I had physical golden flowers sprinkled in some of the envelopes, not every envelope, but I've decided to do a virtual golden flower so that we can still keep the surprises fun. Now, how this will work is that 4 golden flower winners will be selected each month. You will be notified via email. Again, you have to be signed up for those newsletter communication emails. I will randomly select 4 people using a random number generator, and I will reach out to you letting you know you have won a virtual golden flower. Now, the prizes that come with the monthly giveaways and the virtual golden flowers are a lot of fun. They're usually around $50. Think layer cakes, jelly rolls, 5 My So Quilty Life patterns, gift certificates to other shops, anything valued around or just over $50. So that is a really great prize. With the Flower Stand block of the month, we were able to give almost $4,000 away in prizes. Now, how awesome is that? So exciting! So I hope you're one of the winners. Just remember, you do need to be signed up for the communications email. You can access that in the main hub. Okay, the next thing I have new for this block of the month, which I'm so excited about, and it was probably one of the most #1 requested things that I should have added for this block of the month, is a background quick cutting guide. Yay! Cue the confetti, right? I know a lot of you love to go ahead and cut out, especially your background pieces, because those background pieces do take a majority of your cutting time. And if you have any downtime, it's always fun to go ahead and cut out all those pieces. I know I like to. So what I have created for this block of the month for you is a quick cutting guide. Now, if you're familiar with my patterns, I usually cut with the fabric strips and then we subcut into our pieces. And that is exactly what I've done here for you to quick cut your background. What you'll do is you'll follow this guide, checking along the way that you have the pieces that you are cutting. You can stop and start at any time. It's really easy. And then I also included a little marker with each measurement. So what you can do when you're cutting out all of your pieces, you can either stick all of the same like pieces in a bag with this little marker, or you can clip this little marker to those pieces using like a little wonder clip or any kind of clip. So I'm so excited about these because I cannot wait to cut all of my background pieces at once. So here we have all the markers. You can just cut these out with scissors or a rotary blade. I would recommend trying to keep them in order according to how you're cutting here, so it just doesn't get messy and complicated. It's always good to stay organized because there are a ton of pieces. You all know that I love a ton of pieces. So anyway, this is fun. I'm so excited about this. I hope this helps you. Now, I did not include it for any of the yardage that is included because I felt like most people had requested just the background, and I thought the background is what most people are worried about. The rest of the fabric in your kit, between your layer cake and the yardages, I am confident you will have more than enough to starch, and if you make mistakes. And the good thing about the layer cake that I included in the block of the month is if you're not fond of a certain fabric that I am using, you can just look in your layer cake and use something else. For instance, I don't use a lot of the low volume piece from the layer cake, so if you wanted to substitute a piece to put a low volume accent, that is the perfect time to do it. Okay, so the next thing you can go ahead and download from the main hub is your hand embroidery template. Now, as you know, I like to add some fun little hand embroidered accents in my quilt, but you don't have to. I have something that I'll show you in just a second. But if you want to go ahead and hand embroider all the things you need for your Flower Shop block of the month, I have a template for you. So we have the Welcome to the Flower Shop sign. You will also have an open, now come on in sign. You will have tulips and you will have cone flowers and daisies. Now on this sheet, I have a QR code that accesses the main hub in order to see the hand embroidery tutorial. I walk you through exactly how to hand embroider these, give you some tips and tricks to make you feel extra confident in hand embroidering. If you've never hand embroidered before, I highly recommend checking out this video. It is so much fun and it just adds something special to the quilt. Now, if you're not a fan of hand embroidery, don't worry, I have a fun little pre-printed panel just for you. Now, I will be using the pre-printed panel in my second quilt for my tutorials, but this is the pre-printed panel. These are available at mysoquiltylife.com. If you're not interested in hand embroidering, highly suggest picking one of these up in my shop. Now, if you are not a fan of having the words in your quilt, you can substitute anywhere where those words should be with some low volume fabric or any of your favorite fabric from the fabric collection or from your stash. So don't feel like you have to. You also don't have to use the words that I included. If you want to put maybe your grandchildren's names, or maybe you had a grandmother that used to own a flower shop and you want to write her a cute little message to remember her by in your quilt, feel free to do that. These are just suggestions. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is I love to add a little bit of extra fun in my block of the month. So we are coming back with Flower Shop Bingo. You might remember Flower Stand Bingo, but we have a Flower Shop Bingo, and this time it is on an 8.5 by 11, and you all should be able to read what it says without a magnifying glass. Again, those little silly envelopes, I had to print stuff so small. So now we have a big bingo card that you can download, and if you mess up, you can download and print another one. It is not a big deal. So some fun little things that we do: support your favorite quilt shop. We obviously have a free space. Join one monthly live stream. Just a lot of different activities that you can do. Complete month 6 blocks, month 1, 2, fill out the end of block a month survey, stay up late or wake up and quilt early. Reserve a cozy cottage block of the month. That is my next one. Also, making one bonus block. These are just little activities to get you going and to keep you on task. That is something that, from the feedback of Flower Stand, people loved the most, was all the encouragement along the way to finish their quilt, and we had so many beautiful finished quilt tops. So go ahead and download your bingo card and mark off that free space. Now, you will be able to submit your bingo card entries for prizes during our final Flower Shop celebration, which I will have more details for you as we continue with the block of the month. The next thing you can go ahead and download was probably a lot of your favorites. Again, keeping you on schedule and on track. We had the Flower Shop block of the month progress tracker. This is similar to the one that we had in Flower Stand, but it's different and it has different colors for you, and it has a little bit of extra things that we didn't have on Flower Stand. So go ahead and download that so you can mark off your progress as you go through. I love making lists and having lists and crossing things off, so it's always fun to be able to do that with something like this progress tracker. With each month, I like to give a fun little goodie, and this goodie kind of makes sense for this month, and I'm really excited about it. And you probably remember from Flower Stand that you got these little alphabet markers. It was one little small page that you had to cut up, but I am excited to tell you that because we went virtual, you can download and print as many as you want. So for our month 1 goodie, we have our alphabet markers that match Flower Shop and the Dainty Meadow fabric. So for this block of the month, it goes all the way from A through Z, and you have all these markers. Now, I like to just cut them out on the line and clip them or set them on my pieces when I am making the blocks using a design board, but you can do it however you want. If you want to print off 12 sets of these to be able to cut out all your blocks and clip them to all the blocks so you are ready to go each month, feel free. You have the patterns, you have everything you need. Go ahead if that is how you like to work. That is just fine. Now, something I didn't do last time, so this makes it even more exciting, is I added block markers. So once you get finished with the block, go ahead and clip block 1, 2, 3, 4, and etc. on that block so you know exactly which block it is, so when you get ready to finish that quilt, you can just grab that block and go. Now, I do recommend printing these out on cardstock paper. 65, 80, 100, or 110 pound are all great. You can also laminate these sheets before you cut them after you print them or have them printed so that you can keep them forever if you would like. I didn't come up with that idea. That's definitely from the group of Flower Stand participants, so thank you so much. I will show you what I did. I went ahead and printed mine on 80 cardstock, and I put them in a bag. So here are all my little letters right here, and I put them in a bag. I will be putting my block markers in a bag as well, but I did go ahead and print those as well. So I hope this helps you stay organized. I know with a big block of the month like this, it can be so easy to get discouraged. It can be so easy to get disorganized and not finish your block of the month. But I'm trying to give you things along the way that will help you stay organized. In my tutorials, I will show you how I use things like this, how I use design boards and everything to stay organized. So no need to worry about that. I will give you all of my tips and tricks. So be sure to head to the main hub to download all of your virtual flower pack for month 1 and get those goodies printed. Really quick, I wanted to go over a couple extra tools or supplies that you might find helpful. First, I have 2 things that I love to use. So I love having a friction marker. Now I know these are very controversial because sometimes they don't erase, but these ones that I've been using, they do evaporate with heat. So feel free to use your favorite marking tool, but I always like to recommend these. I also use all the time diagonal seam tape. In all of my patterns, I have you do stitch and flip units, which requires you to either draw a diagonal line on the back of your square, or if you have diagonal seam tape by Cluck Cluck Sew, you just line your corner up with that red line and you go to town. So I highly recommend getting some of this, or if you like to be super simple, having a mechanical pencil to draw those diagonal lines is very helpful. I also recommend, because there are a lot of small pieces, the smallest piece is a 1 inch unfinished, which means it's going to be a 1/2 inch finished. I do recommend a small ruler. Now my go-to ruler is a Creative Grids right-handed 6.5 inch ruler. I always feel like I have enough control for my hand when cutting those small pieces, so my ruler is not too small when cutting, and a potential accident could happen. And I don't want it to be too big either, because then the fabric, I feel like, slides underneath that ruler. So I really love a smaller ruler. So go ahead and look in your quilt room and see if you have a smaller size ruler that you feel comfortable with to be able to use in the Flower Shop Block of the Month. Another thing that I recommend are clips. I love clips. Oh my goodness. I have this cute little hand embroidered little basket I made, says clips, that I keep all of my clips in. This just helps me, one, organize my pieces to clip those alphabet markers to. It also helps me when I'm trying to clip seams instead of pinning. So I just like to have some extra clips on hand. Okay, so now that I've gone through a couple of extra things that I like to have for making my Block of the Month quilt, I thought I would go ahead and show you my fabric that I chose. So of course I would love to use Dainty Meadow again. I love this collection and I'm so excited to see all of your quilts come together in this collection, but I've already made the quilt in this collection and I don't need 2 quilts of the same collection. So I just mentioned previously that I had all of you vote, and I'm so excited to show you exactly the fabric I am using. I think you're gonna love it, and I hope if you're not using any particular fabric collection, maybe this gives you a couple of ideas to use for your Block of the Month quilt. So let me set all of this aside and we will talk about my fabric. Okay, so for my background fabric, I am gonna be using a Bella 200. The SKU on this is 99-200. It is called Off-White. This is the background, or the white fabric, that matches the fabric that the designer that I'm using uses for her base color. Now, if you're using the Dainty Meadow fabric, my base color is 9900-182 porcelain. So my quilt is going to be a little brighter. Yours is going to have more of a vintage feel. So this is the background fabric. Now, my goal was to try to shop within my stash as much as possible, so I didn't have to go out and buy new fabric, because as you can see, I have a ton of fabric right here and I don't need to go buy more. Although I want to, right? And I just didn't have time and I needed to get my tutorials going. So I'm so excited to show you the fabric I am using. Are you ready to see it? Okay, so I am going to be using the panel first. I am using a mixture of my favorite designers' collections. I'm not sure if you can see what I got going on here, but I have a Callie & Co. layer cake by Corey Yoder of Coriander Quilts. I personally love Corey. I haven't got to make my Corey quilt in a while. If you know me, before I became a fabric designer with Moda, I would make a Corey quilt, meaning I would design and make a quilt with every Corey collection that came out and called it my Corey quilt. That's just my nickname for it. Me and my friends like to call it my Corey quilt, so it just stuck. So I am using, instead of a Dainty Meadow layer cake, I am using a Callie & Co. and I'm so excited. It's going to give it a little pop of color. There's a lot of dainty prints, which are going to be perfect for those small pieces. So I pulled that. The next thing I needed to do was find a couple of things for the yardage, because as you remember, if you look on the back of your pattern, you have some yardages that you do need. So I do need the background fabric. I also need a gray, which I'm planning to use the gray that came within the layer cake for those lanterns, the doorknob, and the little planters down below. I think having those scrappy will be super cute. The next thing I needed was, for the top sign that said Flower Shop, I needed a darker pink just to kind of make that pop. So I went ahead and pulled a fun gingham from the Strawberry Lemonade collection by Sherry and Chelsea. I thought this worked so well with the Callie & Co. fabric. Actually, a lot of Strawberry Lemonade that I pulled works really great with the Callie & Co. So if you have Callie & Co. and you have some Strawberry Lemonade and are looking to make a fun project, it goes together so great. Or if you want to go ahead and make the Flower Shop Block of the Month with us, you can do it too with this fabric. So this is going to be my door fabric and my Flower Shop sign fabric. I will also be using a pink from, I believe it's oh, I'm gonna butcher it, Favorite Things. I think this was the pink from Favorite Things by Sherry and Chelsea's Christmas collection. I'm gonna be using this for the pinks around the windows, so all of the framing on the flower shop. I also am planning on using this fabric. I believe it's from the Emma collection by Sherry and Chelsea for my awning. So the awning that's green and white, this is what I'm going to use for my green. I have my binding fabric, which I believe might be a Lella Boutique collection. I think this might be from Garden Variety, but I thought it looked really cute and I love a stripe, and this one will be a diagonal stripe. I also pulled my own fabric from Dainty Meadow for the planter boxes as well as all the shelves within the windows because I needed a tan and I thought this worked great. Now, I'm a little indecisive for my awning. Originally in the Flower Shop Block of the Month, I just did one fabric repeating in between the greens. But I thought, how cool would it be to do a bunch of fun low volume? So I just pulled these from my stash. I think this is from Canning Day. These are definitely Strawberry Lemonade, Canning Day, and another Corey fabric that I'm not too sure exactly where that came from, but I'm not sure. I'll have to see how that'll look using all these low volumes. Now, I went ahead and pulled a couple extra greens from my fabric stash and yellows and a couple more shades of pink, just because I know that I'm going to want a large variety within my quilt, and I didn't know if I would have enough from the layer cake. Okay, so now that you saw my fabrics, I am so excited to see the fabrics you're choosing, or if you are using Dainty Meadow, be sure to use our special hashtag showing off your fabrics you're using for the Flower Shop Block of the Month. Don't forget to use hashtag Flower Shop BOM on social media and tag me at MySewQuiltyLife so I can see it and share it too. Okay, so now that you have seen my fabrics, I guess I can go ahead and start making my first couple blocks. I'm going to film a couple tutorials for you that you'll be able to access when the block of the month starts for block 1 and 2 and a hand embroidery video. Be sure to check those out. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited to get this Flower Shop block of the month kicked off with you. This is going to be an amazing, fun journey. I can't wait. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.